Hello, I'm David DeCosmo for Electric City Television, and our program is At Your Service. It is a program designed to tell you about the services available to people throughout our area by various agencies. And today we'll be talking about the Lackawanna County Area Office on Aging. And joining us to begin our program is Sarah McDonald, who is the director of that program. Sarah, you know, the first question I have may seem a little strange, but I began receiving information from the AARP people when I was about 50. So what are the current descriptions, the exact diameters for the aging in our area?
That's a good question. For most programs, it's 60 and older. For some, like transportation, it's 65 and older.
All right. Now, obviously, our area has a tremendously large population of senior citizens. And I'm always surprised when I'm in the field to find out how many don't know about all of the services that are available to them. And they lose out strictly because they don't know. Can you give me a little laundry list of some of the programs that the Area on Aging offers to the seniors?
Sure. And sometimes the better question is, what don't we offer? Because we do have so many services. I'll start by the basic. We offer information and referral. So if you're over 60 and you need information on any type of program that's out there available to you, you could call our office and you'll speak with somebody and they can direct you to the right program. Mm-hmm. We have like a no wrong door policy if you call our office. We also do assessments for Medicaid funded nursing home placements and Medicaid funded in-home and community programs. So that's a lot of work. We cover the whole county doing all of those assessments.
And this would be people that are looking to get care from a medical facility?
So they're either looking to go into a nursing home that's funded by Medicaid, mm-hmm. or they're looking for in-home and community-based services through a CHC waiver program or a Life Geisinger program. And we do the assessments for that. You have to be at a nursing home level of care for those two types of assessments.
Now, that would seem to me to be something that family members would come to you for advice. Sometimes the individual would really not have that capacity.
Right. Sometimes it's family members, sometimes it's social workers, sometimes it's hospitals, sometimes it's the facilities themselves looking to apply somebody for Medicaid funding for a long-term stay.
And some of the other services?
Some of the other services we offer, our most popular is obviously our in-home services through our options program. That is the lottery-funded programs through the state. We offer programs such as in-home meals, personal care services, adult day center programs. I think there's also like aging in place services, like for small, like home modifications and safety modifications. And that's for individuals living in their homes that are 60 and older.
Now that, I think, would be something that a lot of people really ought to know about if they don't, because if there's one thing that an elderly person would like to do, mm-hmm. is stay right in their home.
Exactly. That's exactly where that program kind of developed from, is just making sure, we had historically all the right services to support people living in homes. So the Aging in Place program, it's a partnership we have with Neighborhood Works, is really, really focused on making the home safe for the person to
live in. And are these
in.
primarily people who are living alone?
Not always, but sometimes. I wouldn't say always, but mm-hmm. sometimes. We have all of our programs too require an assessment. It's called a needs assessment, so it determines what areas of need you have and what services could address that. And all of them require income verification. We do not have an income limit, but there is a sliding scale of for fee for service if your income is on the higher end.
Do you get feedback from the people in home as to the services you're providing?
We do.
What do you hear from them?
We hear a wide range of things. Most of them are very grateful for the help that we're able to provide. A lot of times we just get questions because they weren't quite sure, to the extent of what their service was supposed to be offering them. And, unfortunately, sometimes we hear when they're not happy with the service, but it makes us work harder to, improve what we're doing.
Yeah.
So, we do annual consumer satisfaction surveys for the people that we serve, and we're always on the phone discussing the different programs and answering questions about the services.
Our program is really designed to make sure people who are out there are aware of these kinds of services. And yet, especially if you're an individual in your home and you're elderly, sometimes you may not know where to turn. Do you work with other agencies in terms of them referring people to you for these services?
Oh, yes. We definitely couldn't exist without our community partners. We work closely with the United Way, United Neighborhood Centers, Telespond. We have close relationships with Scranton Primary and the Wright Center. We have, Neighbor Works, I mentioned before. Without some of these community partners, we couldn't continue to do the services that...
You got any idea how many people you're serving currently through these various programs?
Definitely, I would say definitely over 1,000 people just through these programs too. We also have a caregiver support program. In this program, you have to be a caregiver of an older adult or disabled person and over the age of 55. And our services are more to support and reimburse caregivers for the work they're doing to care for people. And the other side of that program is a grandparent support program. So if you're a grandparent raising a grandchild, we can provide supportive services and reimbursement services while you're taking care of your grandchildren.
And I guess in today's economy, with really the necessity to have two parents working often, it's not uncommon to have someone else, a family member, come in to take care of an individual, or, as you say, a grandparent to come in to take care of a grandchild. And they've got to be aware that there's help available to them.
Yeah, no, the grandparents are for them, the grandparents raising the grandchildren. The amount, the volume, and the increase we've seen in this program over the past 5 years is tremendous. I think currently we're serving about 50 grandparents, and in addition to that service and support, we also contract with Outreach for Community Services, and they run our grandparent support group monthly. They provide educational topics, meals, activities, and just to really connect grandparents who are all in it together raising their grandchildren.
Bottom line, if there's a senior who happens to be watching this, they need some kind of help. Now, I know there's a 211 number that can be called for information on various services, but I assume you would recommend they give your agency a call.
Definitely. They could call our agency at 570-963-6740. We also have a very active website and Facebook page. So if you just Google Lackawanna County Aging, you'll be directed to both of them.
Sure. Well, Sarah McDonald, I thank you. Now, obviously, one of the main programs that is offered through various agencies and under your umbrella, in some case, are the senior citizen centers. So we're going to bring in another Sarah in just a moment to talk about some of that. But thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Now I'd like to welcome Sarah Bodner to our program. She's from the United Neighborhood Centers, and of course, as I indicated, the senior centers are one of the prime advantages for seniors today, a place to go and a place to have things to do. Your agency runs or is in contact with a number of these centers in our area. How many centers are there in Lackawanna County?
So we receive our funding for the senior programs from the Area Agency on Aging, Sarah, who you just spoke to, and UNC oversees and manages 5 different healthy aging campus locations.
All right. Now, I'm old enough to remember when these senior centers, and I'm not sure they're called that anymore. Last I heard it was active adult centers. But I remember when they began, and they were primarily a place where senior citizens could come and get lunch. And they ate their food and they said, thanks for joining me at the table and goodbye, we'll see you. Doesn't work that way anymore, does it?
There's so much more, but we still do that too.
Okay.
And we do have some seniors that still like that, where their primary need is to help their food budget and their financial situation by being able to have a free lunch Monday through Friday. So we do have some seniors that utilize that, but we have far more seniors who come for all the other various activities that we offer at all 5 sites.
And I want to get into that because when we stopped to do today's program, it just happened to be a day when at the Carbondale Center, a farmer's market was going on. And there were vendors set up, and seniors who had been here for the lunch program stayed and were shopping a lot of local vendors. So that obviously is one of the aspects. Now, before we get into some of the others, we should point out that various activities will change by various centers. So they don't all offer the same things, but generally the services are available for everyone. Let's talk about some of those services that they can find at the centers these days.
Sure. And actually, you brought up a good point. When we reopened after COVID, so we're actually 1 term beyond the active older adult centers that you recall. We now call them healthy aging campus sites. So that term campus gave us a feel that people didn't have to be a member of a specific center to go there. So we encourage people to go to the campus location that has the activities that you want to participate in. If you live in Scranton, you don't have to go to the center that's located in Scranton. You can travel to our Hillside campus in Clark Summit. You can come up to our Fallbrook campus and shop at the farmer's market or try our golf simulator. So we wanted to kind of break down that idea that seniors had to be members of a specific center, and really they just go where there's activities that interest them. So some of the activities that we offer, and many of them are offered across all the locations, we have a really amazing list of art programs. We have things as simple as kind of basic arts and crafts, and then we also have art programs that are led by local professional artists. We have one in particular at our Scranton location, our Oppenheim campus, that's geared toward supporting caregivers and care recipients. So it's called our Arts for Life program for caregivers. It's really meant to support that relationship between caregiver and care recipient that can often become strained.
Sure.
So it's something that they can do together or for the caregiver to do on their own as something for them. We offer bingo at many sites. We have, like I said, our golf simulator at our Fallbrook location. We have lots of different fitness classes available, from Tai Chi, line dancing, yoga. We have strength training, chair aerobics. We also offer a lot of educational programming. So we have people come in to offer their expertise on different health topics, financial planning, mental and behavioral health as well, chronic disease management. And we're always looking for more ideas and more things to offer.
And it sounds as though it's really concerted effort to not just have someone come in and get a good meal, although that's part of it, but really to remain that term active again. Mm-hmm. And that, I assume, is a benefit for them for the rest of their life when they leave the center, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we really want to combat senior isolation, which is very prominent in our area, especially because there are some very rural parts of Lackawanna County. So we actually partner with United Way and some other organizations that work to identify seniors who are isolated or at risk of being isolated, and we try to get them to come out and engage with us at our locations so that they can form social connections, stay healthy, have lunch, and really experience the benefits of the locations.
Have you seen the results of that? Or people who may live in their own home alone now suddenly have camaraderie with others beyond luncheon?
We do see that. So like I said, we do have some people who come in to grab a lunch and leave. We actually shifted to, instead of a sit-down lunch, we recognized that there were a lot of people who needed a lunch but didn't want to kind of sit around. So we do have people that come and take a to-go lunch, but then we have people who come and are there just all day with us. So I like how our services are delivered in a way to kind of accommodate people who want any level of that engagement.
And is there a cost involved for the people that want to use the center or these services?
The majority of all the programs are free to seniors over 60. The lunch is free, and all of our fitness classes are free. There are a few special programs that might have a small fee associated, but 95%, 99% are free to seniors over 60.
And I mentioned at the offset that the program that we are offering is designed to tell people about these various services. Do you, like the other agencies, cooperate in terms of getting that information to seniors?
Yes, our calendar is one of our strongest marketing tools. So every month we do an activities calendar for all 5 sites, and we really try to get that out into the community to say, here's what we have going on, here's something new that wasn't offered last month, and we send that to a long list of people electronically through email. We put it on our social media. The county also helps to get the word out by putting our calendars on their website as well. We do things like this and try to get the word out any way possible, that people are welcome to join us at any time.
Yeah, of course, a couple of those means of communications involve computers and even smartphones that, believe it or not, I know you would know, a lot of seniors don't have. And I'm kind of wondering whether one of the services that might be offered or should be is something with regard to how to work the computers, how to work those cell phones, and get people more involved in using that type of communication that's become so common with everyone else. No one calls anymore, they send a text.
We do. Actually, the Area Agency on Aging partnered with Lackawanna College for the last couple of years to do some technology education in senior housing projects as well as our senior centers. So teaching people just basics of, how to use your phone, to how to do banking online, to how to, attend Thanksgiving dinner via Zoom. That was a bit more in 2020. But we also, at our Fallbrook location, every Wednesday at 9 o'clock, we partner with the Carbondale Library, and we have someone from the Carbondale Library just do one-on-one tech tutoring. So that could be someone coming in with a question about their phone or with a tablet, or various questions at various levels.
Have you got any idea how many people are taking advantage of these centers, whatever the program they may be involved in?
At our 2 busiest centers, the average daily attendance throughout the month is in the upper 40s to 50, and that's for people coming in for all variety of programs. At some of our satellite sites that are only open 1 to 2 days a week, we're averaging about 25 to 30 attendees each day.
Do you make use of volunteers at all at these centers?
Yes, absolutely. We have a number of telespond volunteers, which are also seniors. So they are there kind of attending and participating in programs, but they also are able to help out with various tasks, often bagging and serving lunches, helping the program coordinators with any kind of tasks that they might need help with. So yes, we do utilize volunteers. We also have students from the local universities come
and the
visit a
obvious
lot.
follow-up question to that is, do you need volunteers?
Sure, always. And really, when we have people reach out that say they want to volunteer, my first question is usually, do you have a talent or an interest or a skill? Because I'm always looking to offer new programs. So if someone came to me and they said, actually, yeah, I play the guitar, my first question would be, would you like to host a sing-along at one of our sites or provide entertainment? So while we really value volunteers to help with the day-to-day operations, I am always looking for people who have some sort of unique skill to bring and teach our seniors.
And I would gather that the real benefit of that, the spinoff of that, would be that it isn't a routine. It isn't something you come to a center and do the same thing all the time.
Mm-hmm. We do have some things that are offered regularly, which is nice because you can rely on them, that they're there, and it becomes part of people's routine. But then we surprise them too, and do something completely new. Yesterday at our Oppenheim Center, we had a Holi party. Holi is an Indian holiday. It was back in March, but we planned the party for yesterday, and it was fantastic. We served Indian food, and we had over 75 people in attendance, and we learned Indian dances, and it was wonderful.
Now, you're providing all these service to seniors. I wonder if some of them offer service to you.
Well, certainly, like I said, so we have a lot of seniors who help out at the centers, and then we also have a peer support program. We partner with the Ignatian Volunteer Corps. During COVID, we recognized that lots of seniors were isolated beyond their control. They were told, don't leave your apartments, and, we'll deliver food to you, and, stay put to stay healthy. Yeah. So we developed this peer support phone program where fellow seniors, peers, were calling other seniors to just check in and have a friendly conversation, and, making sure that they were still plugged into the community even when we were all shut down. And so we still offer that program now for seniors who just could use an extra person in their support network.
Sure. So reaching the seniors is the key, and then getting them involved, be it as a recipient or even in some cases offering service to others. What have you seen in terms of the results, in terms of the demeanor of the people that you're serving?
They have great energy. What's funny is when we were reopening in September of 2020, we weren't sure what the feedback was going to be, if people would be reluctant to come back. 2020, there were still health concerns. Yes. They all came back, and they came back right away, and they were excited. They were ready to be with their friends again. And that energy level hasn't really dropped since. People are just so happy to be there.
So the cabin fever created by COVID actually turned out to be a positive thing in the long run.
Yes.
Sure, certainly. Well, I understand that in addition to the meals, and once again, one of the main services is the meals, but in addition to having the meals here at the centers, there's an outreach program as well. So we're going to thank you for joining us here, and I'm going to bring in another guest to talk about one other program that's offered to our seniors.
Thank you.
Now we're joined by Lauren Fitzgerald from the Area Agency on Aging, who is involved with a program, an outreach program called Fridays in the Park. So Lauren, what is Fridays in the Park all about?
Well, it started when we started doing things back after COVID. We try to get everybody out of their homes and together again safely. So it started in the spring of 2001, where on Fridays we essentially take a mobile senior center to our 4 county parks. So we start with McDade Park, Aylesworth Park, Covington Park, and Merle Sarnoski Park. So we're on a rotating basis of those 4. And we serve lunch and similar activities that you would find at a senior center, but in the parks.
So it's not only a luncheon there, which would amount to a picnic, since you're in the park, and of course, who doesn't like a picnic? And seniors grew up with them, so I know that they would enjoy it again. And I would assume then you use the various park facilities. Give us an idea of some of the things that have been done in the past.
So we're at the pavilion of each park, usually start around 10 a.m., wrap up around 1 p.m. We usually start with bingo, because no matter what we try and do, bingo is a staple. And we've also partnered with the CEO Weinberg Foundation, who they show up to do nutrition education and then some type of food demonstration where they will prepare a meal or a snack, show everybody the ingredients, give them recipes, and of course they get to sample it. And then usually lunch, and then sometimes like an art program or an exercise or a meditation class, usually stuff like that.
So even some physical activities
Yes.
as well.
Yep. And even sometimes we'll have guided walks around the parks in the various nature areas. Yeah.
How's the response been to this?
Very popular, actually. We've had to limit and take reservations for the amount of people we can have. It's pretty competitive sometimes, so we try to make it fair to everybody that they get to the park, but we limit it to about 50 people just for safety and all that. But yeah, there's usually a waiting list for the different parks.
Sure. Now, if someone is interested in getting involved in the Friday in the Park program, you indicated that there may have to be reservations. What should they do?
They can visit our website or our Facebook page. Our website is lackawannaaging.org. That'll give them the information. There is a phone number to call to leave a voicemail, and somebody will get back to them to confirm that they have made the reservation.
You know, as we've heard today, there's so many great activities at the centers, so many services that are offered through the area on aging. I'm wondering if there's just a little extra spark when it's the outdoor facility, just that difference in getting people out of their homes and into the environment.
Absolutely. And we will see people that regularly attend senior centers, but then there's also a different group that we don't normally reach at the centers. So it definitely is speaking to different crowds of our seniors out there.
And as with the centers themselves, there's no fee involved in the basic services?
Yep, nope, no fee. Just show up and have fun.
Okay, well, I thank you very much. I thank
you.
all of those folks who have joined us today to talk about these services that are available primarily free of charge to senior citizens in the area. Once again, I remind you, you can call these agencies. You can call the area Agency on Aging or United Neighborhood Centers, the 211 number for general information on any problem you may be having. I'm David DeCosmo for Electric City Television. We'll see you next time on At Your Service, and until we do, I hope all your news is good.